First off, I just want to say congratulations. This is the 9th week and you guys have all stuck it out. If I understand correctly, this is the last week of her training for your Hustle to Director and Beyond, and you guys are here. You're still hanging in there, you're still showing up, and you're here for all the things. So kudos to you. You guys are awesome. You are showing up. There's a saying in the business, in direct sales, that say those who show up go up, and here you are showing up. So I have full confidence that you are doing good things with your business, and if not, then you're just on the brink of turning that corner and kind of hitting that tipping point to where you're going to hit some momentum. You can do something for a long time, then all of a sudden somebody joins or somebody else decides that something changed in life, and then all of a sudden their business takes off and things therefore for you take off. Or you find a new passion in your life, and then your energy and excitement becomes something that really kind of creates that little wildfire and just takes off. So kudos to you, congratulations, good job for doing all the things and for showing up, and just, if nothing else, just for still hanging in there. Sometimes that's the hardest thing, is to just keep going. I've been a consultant for 13 and a half years. I joined in February 21st of 2008. So it was a long time ago. I didn't even have all my kids yet. People oftentimes would ask me, well, what's your secret to success? Or what's your big talent that kind of set you apart from the others? And honestly, I think my biggest talent or strength that set me apart from the others is just I didn't quit, and I kept going. And when I hit a roadblock, I would find something to try, some other way, some other avenue to try to make it work. Because again, just don't give up. Just keep trying and keep reigniting that passion. So just super quick, this just came into my, hello Taylor, thanks for joining, came into my mind, so I'm going to share it. So just my story in a nutshell. I joined because I just had my third baby, and he was born in September, so he was just a couple months old, and my husband had just graduated from graduate school with $100,000 in student loan debt. It was a great degree, and we would have done it again, especially because it led me to Scentsy, because I couldn't handle that debt. I was just like, oh, we've got to get rid of it. But again, I had 2 little toddlers and a baby, and he was starting his own business, so AKA no money, things are really slow. So I thought, okay, I'll go get a job. He's home starting his business during the day. He can stay with the kids, and I'll go get a job and work. And I just couldn't. I got this great job lined up. They were gonna be super flexible with my baby schedule and all that stuff, but I just couldn't do it. I just knew in my heart that it just wasn't where I wanted to be. It wasn't what I wanted to do. It wasn't the path that I could feel was right for my family. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna flake out. Sorry, but I just can't do this. And then I was like, yeah, but now what? And my mom actually, so we know Orville, because again, he used to live just in the next neighborhood over, and he goes to our church congregation. And so I've known him for a long time before Scentsy. And at that time, Scentsy was everywhere. Again, I live in Meridian, Idaho, so everybody who knew Orville had already joined, or they were working at home office. And in my church congregation, it was a half a square mile, so it's divided up by areas, and there were already 31 consultants or people who worked at home office before I joined. And so I was like, so my mom was like, well, why don't you join Scentsy? She's like, I know what you should do. You should join Scentsy. I was like, yeah, no, not my thing, not my jam. That's not who I am. That's not what I do. But she said, I think you'd be really good. So I graduated from college in business, and I've always wanted to run a business, but I'm not the hostess with the mostest. I don't go to parties. I don't host parties. I don't have enough confidence to have a party and think anyone would ever come. So even just normal get-togethers, that's just not me. That's not my personality. And I also don't buy things. I'm kind of cheap, and I'm kind of a minimalist, and I just don't buy stuff. So I was like, I don't own a Scentsy warmer. How am I going to even convince anybody else? I'm not a salesperson, and I don't want to be. So anyway, long story short, I'm here today because somebody saw something in me that sparked my interest. And my mom said, well, why don't you run it like a business? And it was that thought that she planted in my head. She wasn't even a consultant, but she just planted in my head of something that she could see for me that I couldn't see in myself yet, and a talent or strength or an opportunity that I had that I didn't even realize. And so for us as leaders, that is the gift. That is the strength that we have, is we get to see it in others and help them either join our team to help grow, and then, they have to join before we can ever lead them. And then once they're in our boat, we get to show them, hey, look, the horizon's just up there. And then we'll all paddle harder. Because it's like, imagine yourself out in the middle of a rowboat in the middle of an ocean. You don't see any land. You don't see any dock or any other boats. So how hard are you going to paddle? Probably not super hard, because you're just kind of there drifting, kind of paddling. Your arms kind of get sore because you've been out there for a while and you don't really know where you're going. But once somebody spots something on, you know, an island or where you're going or something like that, then how much more can you imagine you would have the passion and the energy to, okay, let's paddle faster, let's get there. And you know where you're going and nobody's dragging you. You don't have to wait for a big tugboat to come pull you. You then have your own motor inside you. Well, it's the same thing for a team. When we can point out that island in the distance and when we can see it and spy and spot where it is that they are heading and where the potential for them, then we won't be dragging them along, but they will partner with us and we get to both row out there together. Or maybe it's them, maybe they're the only ones in the rowboat and we get to stand on the island and say, hey, come on, it's this way, you're almost there, keep rowing. Row a little bit faster because you're almost there and maybe the sun's about to set. You know, sometimes there are times when we need to row faster, maybe to get a promotion or maybe to end up so that we can earn an incentive trip or whatever it is. As leaders, we get to shout out and say, hey, you're almost here. Come on, row a little faster so that you don't miss that goal or so that they're not rowing in the wrong direction. So just to kind of sum up all these great leadership tips that you've had these past 9 weeks, I think that's the beauty of it, is we get to be the ones who are a little bit further down the path, even if you aren't at the island yourself yet, you can see it. We know what's there. We know the possibilities. So we get to not only help them know exactly what they need to do, where they should go, but we also get to cheer them on. And can you imagine, like, even like running a race or something, when somebody's cheering you on, you get more energy and then you're able to arrive there with much more energy, much more vigor, and you find that extra energy from somewhere. Oh, Eva, yay! Oh, you're crazy. I can't believe you're logging in live from Disney. That's so fun. In line for the Mind Train. That's so fun. So I think, like I said, that is our biggest impact as a leader. And if that's all that you remember, it doesn't take a fancy system. It doesn't take the world's best happy mail. It doesn't take being super organized. It doesn't take having the biggest team and been doing it all. And no, those things are helpful. And if that's you, embrace it. Give the best happy mail ever. If you love to train. If you are scared to go on live, do things that are hard, but again, realize there are a million ways to lead. And the best way to lead is going to be your way. Whatever it is that is your unique gift, if you have just the gift of seeing greatness in others and expressing it to them, even if it's just through a call or a text, perfect. That's your way of shouting from the island and telling them how they can get there and cheering them on. The biggest thing we can do is help to create belief, belonging, and momentum in our teams. And as a leader, I truly believe in my 13 years, that is my biggest takeaway, the biggest impact. Training programs are awesome like this. It really helps. It helps you know where you're going. But you can't train. I mean, how many times do we train and we even give the best tips and then our team doesn't do it? It's because they get to choose. But they're a lot more likely to see it in themselves, just like my mom saw in me. Hey, you'd be great at Scentsy if you run it like a business. Don't try to be a direct sales party sales queen. That's not going to be me. But guess what? I can run it more like a business. And then my own mind the gears started turning. And then I could envision in myself what I could do and where I would go. And then it's way more fun and effective as a leader, because then again, nobody's pulling me because I have that vision inside myself. So the biggest gift you can give to your team is to help create that belief in you, that you know where to go. You know at least how to help them get there, as well as the belief that you see it in them and that they can do it and that they have something unique and amazing to bring to the table. And then the belonging. Again, everybody just needs to have that place where we feel loved and accepted and valued and seen. How many times have you felt invisible in your life? I know there's been lots of times where I just felt like, man, I'm just not even here, you know? And that doesn't feel good. And are you rowing your boat the fastest you can when you don't feel like you're even noticed, or you don't feel like you belong, or that you have a place? So again, if we can create that belief, that sense of belonging, and then that momentum, celebrate those little teeny steps. Progress grows progress. So it doesn't have to be that you have to wait until somebody finishes this big, huge thing to celebrate, or even yourself. Celebrate the little steps. Celebrate the things that they're doing that will help get them there. My favorite thing about Scentsy leadership is it's not about what a great leader I am and it's like this kingdom and all of these people are my serfs. No, in the Scentsy kingdom, if you will, we get to be a part and among the people. Sorry, I just had a little gnat that's flying around. And so our job is not to just be the supreme leader. Our job is to create more leaders and to show the vision of why they would want to be a leader and help them to be leaders. So your goal, whether you are a lead consultant or whether you are a star director trying to hit it to superstar director, or even superstar director just trying to make it a solid business or increase your pay, our job, our happiness, our success, our earning trips, and eventually, as for sure, our money, it all depends on our ability to attract and create leaders. So again, the more you can help them see where they're going, then they will have the ability to have that momentum themselves. And then you get to cheer them on, you get to help guide them as if they're rowing a little bit to the left, you could say, okay, just a little bit more over here. So anyway, how do you do that? That's kind of the envision of why and what we do as leaders and the huge impact, like life-changing impact that we can have. Do you remember that $100,000 debt I told you guys about with our student loans? Yeah, we paid those off in record time. Even though we were literally eating beans and rice, because of our Scentsy business, we were able to have extra income that literally changed our life. And then my husband lost his job 5 years ago. So that was, again, I've been a consultant for 13. So that was 8 years later. My husband lost his job. And so then for the last 5 years, we were living solely on my Scentsy income. Not necessarily by choice because he was still looking for another job, but he wasn't finding one, and he could be super picky and choosy because he had that time to find the perfect fit for him, the fit that would make him happy, because again, we had our Scentsy business that was such a blessing and creating such a beautiful life and giving us the gift of time. I'm not a Scentsy millionaire, so if you're like, oh, she's made it, she's arrived. No, it's always a work in progress. There's always more leaders to build. There's always more business for myself to grow. But it can be a huge, huge blessing and a huge step to create the life that we want. So one of my favorite tools, I'll show you a few of my tools on how I create that belief and belonging and momentum. One of my favorite tools is something that's right in our workstation, and it is the Leader Action Plan worksheet. And you can turn it into a workshop. But my favorite thing is that they create their belief statement. Again, this is you helping them see that island off in the corner and say, where am I going? Oh, I'm rowing towards that. That's my goal. So then they say their belief statement. I will promote to superstar director. I will whatever it is that they're wanting to do. Then that's their big belief statement. And then you help them break it down. So where am I at today? What does my business look like? What does my own personal efforts look like? Where am I? Do I get my own 500? Okay, well then the gap is that I need to sell some more. Do I have enough team members to even sustain promoting to director and holding that title and being paid at title? No? Okay, well then that's the gap, is I need to grow my team. So you look at where you are today and what that gap is between where you need to end up and where you are today, and then you figure out the little steps down here. And as you, again, help mentor and coach and guide them, again, it's not you doing it for them. It's you helping them see and develop their own plan. Again, they're the ones rowing the boat. You can't do it for them. You will get tired. There's no way you can build a big system because you can only row one boat. But the more you can help them row their own boat and know where they're going, then again, we'll all get there together, and then we can have a big party on the island together. So again, something that helps me is this Leader Action Plan worksheet. I love it. I do one for myself. Like here's mine with my little chicken scratch all over the place. Because again, even as a leader, I'm a superstar director, but I still plan this out because we can still be heading in that same direction. Hey Missy, glad you joined. Come on in. So there's also, I don't know if any of you have read this book, Rock Your Network Marketing Business, and I know it's backwards, but if you're a reader, they say leaders are readers, and I'm not a reader, so you can take that with a grain of salt, but I do love to listen to podcasts, and I love to listen to stuff while I'm doing dishes, or especially while I'm working out or something like that, so I'm not necessarily a reader, but because I just don't sit down to do it. But I do love, I do think that self-development is a huge part of being able to be a leader, because there's always something better that we can learn and grow and develop. But in here, Chapter 9 is called Preparing Yourself to Lead. And she goes through the 10 E's of being an entrepreneur. Yeah, Eva, I love this book too. It's so good because it's so simple. Look how thin it is. Like, it's not a thick book. I have a couple other leadership books and like Mary Christensen books that are awesome, but they're a little bit more of a commitment. But this one I love because look, it's like a workbook. See how it's all like, I write in the margins, I color it. Anyway, chapter 9, it's kind of the culmination of all of the things that she's taught, and she talks about preparing yourself to lead. So like I said, whether you are a lead consultant and needing to grow and develop yourself, or whether you are a superstar director and you need to just continue, or whether you're, whatever, there's always more stuff to learn. So the name of it is Rock Your Network Marketing Business by Sarah Robbins. And again, it's backwards, but you'll see it, and now you can recognize the cover when you go to look at it on Amazon. Yeah, it is an easy read. She does a great job, and it's all the basic principles you guys already know, but she puts it into just a great nutshell. In fact, I do a leadership program like this that Eva has done with you guys. I just base it off of a chapter out of the book. So each week is just a different chapter. But one of my favorite parts when we talk about what a leader is and what it looks like, and then I think I'll probably just wrap it up because then if you guys have any questions or whatever, but I don't want to keep you here all day. But there's just so many good things. My favorite part about a Scentsy business is that we get to be leaders. Like I said, I'm not the party queen. I'm not, let's see, I gotta log it back in. I'm not the salesperson. I'm not the hostess with the mostest. I mean, I do all these things, but at the same time, my favorite part, the part that's most fulfilling, and honestly, the only way that we've been able to support our family out of this is by being a leader and finding my stride. So again, there are a million different ways to lead your team, and none of them are good and better than anyone else's, and none of them are bad. They're all good and they're all unique to you. The only worst way to do it is to do it like somebody else that doesn't suit you, that doesn't fit, that just doesn't feel right, that you just can't find, or that you're always comparing yourself to somebody else to try to find your way. Figure out what feels good to you and then run with that. Yeah, being a leader really is what builds your paycheck. Like seriously, there's no way, for one, I'm not a huge salesperson. I mean, I'm working at it and I try to do my 2,000 every month, but I'm not one who that just comes naturally and that's my favorite part. But I could not sell enough to be able to support my family on Scentsy. You just can't do it because just that commission for sales, you could not sell enough to support your family. So if you have big dreams for your Scentsy business, the key really is leadership. Jumping right into it, putting it on, finding a way to make it comfortable and so that it's not too heavy, so that it's something that's sustainable, something that's scalable, something that you can live with forever. I need to be a better leader. Well, that's what I love is that we all need to be a better leader. So again, it's a constant process. So don't feel like you got to throw it all out and start all over. No, you don't. You literally just pick one thing that you feel like is missing. Remember, the most important things about being a leader, it's not any fancy system. It might be, but it doesn't have to be. It's not any fancy happy mail. It might be, but it doesn't have to be. It's not any fancy whatever. The biggest thing is to build belief, belonging, and momentum. If that's from a postcard for your top sales, do it. If that's from calling your team and just checking in and seeing how they're doing, do it. If that's from walking through a coaching leadership action plan with them so they know where to go, do that. Just pick something and figure out where you want to start, and don't let it get overwhelming, because again, it's a process. It's a learning process, and it's just like we don't expect ourselves to be, let's say I didn't know how to cook. Well, we can't just say, well, I've got a goal, I'm gonna be a chef tomorrow. Well, it's a learning process, and you start with little teeny small steps, and then eventually you'll get there. But the most important key to whatever it is that you're doing is it building belief and expressing your belief in them and helping create that in them. Is it letting them feel that sense of belonging? In your Scentsy team, you do have a team page. Again, they want to feel like they belong, like you see them and that they have a place at the table. Again, the whole idea with Scentsy teams is we want it to be easy to enter and hard to leave, because they just, even if they don't really want to sell necessarily anymore, they just love the feeling of community that we've been able to give them. And then again, momentum. So okay, so the 10 things that she says in this chapter, preparing yourself to lead, she says the 10 E's of being an entrepreneur. And my husband Dave is really cute, and he loves things that start with the same letter or acronyms or whatever. So I think of him every time we do this. And some of them are a little bit of a stretch, but I'll go through them really quickly. Some of them I've already touched on a little bit, but she just really, anyway, there's a lot of E's. So there's 10 of them, but basically 10 points. And again, if you have your notebook out or if you have your phone out or whatever, just write down one of these that you feel like is the biggest weakness for you, and then maybe write down the one that you feel like you're doing the best. Because again, I read a book once where it said, you know, everybody always does these beginning of the year, New Year's resolutions, that's what they're called. And they say a lot of times we always say, okay, what do I need to improve? What am I just really failing at in life? And, you know, what do I need to improve? When they say it's actually a lot better and a lot more likely to happen and a lot more powerful if you look at what is something you're good at and improve that. Build on that. Build on those strengths instead of trying to always fix your weaknesses, because you're going to be pushing against a hard rock to fix something you're already not good at or you don't do or you don't like. But if you can find what you are naturally talented at, then it will help you already have that momentum, that energy and belief inside. And then again, it's more fun and energizing for you to figure out how to build upon those strengths. So again, think about what's one thing you need to fix or change or add in, or even just tweak, or even just an idea that comes to your mind. And two, what is something that you already do really well, or that is something that you naturally do, but you haven't necessarily applied to your Scentsy business. And then look at those two things. So here's our list of 10. So number one is your ego. So basically that just means be more like a servant leadership. I mean, remember how I said we're not like the king and everybody else is here to serve us, or we need to be the strong leader. No, I love it when we create these beautiful, empowering places where you get to help others be leaders, and you get to help shine that light and carry that burden as well on others, and create that ability for others to grow and blossom along with you. You don't have to be the source of every good idea. You don't have to be the source of every training. You don't, you know, so don't get it out of your mind that you need to be this strong leader where you know everything, you do everything, you show everything. Nope. Part of that is just our ego showing up saying, oh, well, that'll prove that I know what I'm doing if I'm a big, strong leader. No, you can be a leader without having, sorry, I got these hairs falling down my arm and it's tickling, without feeling like it's like inflating your own ego. Yeah, Eva, you don't have to be the smartest person in the room. You don't want to be the smartest person in the room. So, and I think a lot of times that's a misconception with Scentsy and leadership, or with any leadership. And you think, well, in order for them to believe me or to follow me or to have confidence in me, they have to know that I'm doing it all. No, you don't have to. Yeah, I slide by the seat of my pants all the time. And I like to say that it's because I'm spontaneous, but I think it's just because that's just my personality, and I don't really love to plan out a lot of stuff. I mean, I plan like, so I had to do an SFR thing, and so, I mean, some things I plan, look, it's all color-coded and notes and stuff. I had to make a video for SFR, so this is what I did, and like I had to do a different little training for mentoring versus coaching, and so some things I plan it up, but again, everything doesn't have to be set in stone. It's so fun to be able to just find an idea or something that comes to my mind, then I'll be like, okay, we're starting this tomorrow. And it's okay, because again, you can pivot. So 86, that ego, get rid of it. And then the attitude. Again, make sure that it's positive. If you have a problem with Scentsy, or if things sell out and you get really frustrated, or even your team, teach your team to complain up, meaning they bring it to you offline. But then when down, go up. So if you have a problem or whatever, go up to your upline. It doesn't mean that we can't talk about stuff and that we have to just paint over everything with rainbows and butterflies, but it does mean that we are in control of our attitudes, and that attitudes are very contagious. So try your best to be a positive leader, even if you don't understand something that's coming from Scentsy, or even if you're frustrated, even if something is goes horribly wrong. It's okay, we can fix it, but you might not be able to fix that poison attitude of, oh, are we really in the right place? Oh, does Scentsy really have our back? They do. And make sure that that attitude is what you're always spreading. Because again, otherwise it'll be a poison and you will not be able to get that back. You'll be able to fix a problem. You'll be able to fix a canceled order. You'll be able to fix host rewards at Wonder Ride, whatever it is. But you won't be able to fix the poison attitude that you've planted in their mind of maybe this isn't the right place, maybe this isn't the right company, maybe we don't have the right leaders, all of those little doubts. So again, thank you, Eva, an attitude of gratitude and an attitude of positivity that let's just look on the bright side here. Not that we're whitewashing everything, but knowing with the attitude of we can work this out. Yes. So as well as don't compare. Find yourself and your stride and, stay in your lane. And it's okay to look around and see and be inspired by others. But again, especially in Scentsy, we're women. And it's so easy to look around and be like, oh, I'm not a good leader. I mean, you guys have already said it today because we all feel it. Superstar directors. A lot of times people think, oh, superstar directors, they've got it together. They know what they're doing. Oh, friends, if you knew how many superstar directors feel like they don't know what they're doing, or they aren't a good leader, or they don't really know how to do whatever. It's all of us, especially as women or even just men, but that comparison game is so dangerous and it's so poisoning. So put on those blinders. Again, find what makes you excited to lead your team and go with that, because that's what you should try. And then you can try on different things and add it. But again, it's got to be something that's unique and genuine to you, or else you won't feel it, and then that won't be able to lead to number 2, which is excitement. Remember, you get to create that vision, and remember how much faster they're going to row with that excitement when you can create that vision of where that island is and how it's just a little bit off and just go a little bit more to the left and it's just on the horizon, you're almost there. That excitement, that attitude is really what will help them row faster. So if you're like, oh man, my team's just not going anywhere, well, are you just waiting for them and they're just out there in the middle of the ocean without knowing where to go? Your excitement, your attitude paves the way for them to then get in and row faster as well and create a vision for what's possible. Number 3, encourage recognition. Again, there are so many ways to do recognition. If you can't afford it, whether it's with money or time, it might even just be too expensive time-wise. Don't do it. Find ways that work for you. Maybe it's sending an email out to your team. Maybe it's creating a video and then sending it in DM to people that are doing great things on your team. Maybe it's doing postcards. Whatever it is, find a way to recognize and celebrate your team, because again, that's part of that belief, belonging, and momentum key that is so important. So find a way to encourage your team. And again, can you do for 10 on your team what you could do for 10,000 on your team? Because someday you will. So again, make it something that is duplicatable or something that you could grow with. Engage and empower your team. Involve them in trainings. Have them, remember, it's not the king sitting in the seat. It's all of us doing it together. So yes, you lead and you set that pace and you're the one showing them where the island is. But it doesn't mean you have to do it all yourself. I started something called Lunch and Learn with my team, 3 or 4 months ago. And every Tuesday, nope, it's Thursday. See, I even just lied. Every Thursday at 12:30 my time, I come on live in my team page and we split the screen and I'm on there. It's kind of like a podcast and I'm asking my team questions about what they're doing lately. What are they doing that's working? And they are loving it. And you know what? I'm even asking certified consultants who just joined, or a lead consultant who just knocked something out of the park, and I just want to ask them, what are you doing for this? Or how are you promoting Bring Back My Bar, or whatever it is. So again, as a leader, you don't have all the best ideas, or even your ideas that are best for you might not be the best ideas for your consultant because she's different. And so she would better hear it from someone else on your team, even somebody who just started but is doing big things. So again, you don't own all the knowledge, nor do you feel like you have to. It's so empowering to be like, oh, I just have to facilitate and get all these good ideas together. I don't have to have all the good ideas. So again, empower your team, engage and empower your team, because again, they're the ones rowing the boat. Share their stories and share what they're doing and let them lead. Let them lead your team. Again, it does not have to be top heavy down. You will be tired, and you will, if you take a second to take a breather because you go to Disney for a week with your family like I am on my incentive tomorrow, my whole team would have nothing. If I'm the kind of leader that I'm the only one that posts and I'm the only one that's sharing ideas and well then, with a week of being gone, what happens? So share that load and it feels better for you, and it will be a lot more empowering because each one will reach someone different. Educate. Training system. Again, training is important for your team so that they get to go and so again, they don't they don't feel like they're in that rowboat and not even knowing the best ways to row and where to go or whatever. So again, train them. But again, with the training, the most important thing is not just what to do, but again, that belief that they can do it, the momentum that you know, they're in a great place and they're at the right place at the right time. And then that belonging that, you know, with all training, we're all just learning, you know. So anyway, so in your training system, think of a way that you can train, whether it's go live every week, or whether it's share a video, or whether it's drip an email to your team every month with your tips, or however you want to do it, or whether it's one-on-one, especially at the beginning. That's really important. Get them off on the right feet. So then they're rowing themselves in. You're not dragging them like a tugboat. Okay, we're halfway through and I'm gonna try to say it fast. So number 6, equip your team. Again, I've already covered that. Develop leaders. That's the whole idea. That's where you will make money. That's where your dreams will come true, as well as that's where it feels really good in Scentsy leadership, is when you equip your team and help them to develop as leaders. As well as, again, the whole idea is, even if you're trying to promote to director, if you have 4 people that you are helping get to star consultant underneath you, guess what? 2,500 team wholesale volume, 2,500 team wholesale volume, 2,500 team wholesale volume, 2,500 team wholesale volume. And guess what? You are a director by helping 4 different team members on different legs reach their goal of being paid at star consultant. So again, develop leaders and help your team reach their goals, and then you will automatically roll up and reach all of your goals. Okay, number 7, encouragement. Scentsy spirit, be all in. Again, be the best cheerleader you can be. If you're not all touchy-feely, find a way to recognize and celebrate, because again, that creates that momentum of growth. We all have this inner longing to feel like we're making progress, even if it's not as big of progress as anybody else, or even if they don't really make their own goals. As long as they feel like they're making progress, they will stay with you and they will keep going. And then maybe things change and they'll be able to run for a little while instead of just taking little baby steps. So BLN, work with your leaders. Again, we're all better together. So yeah, don't feel like, so if Eva is your superstar director, and you're a director under her and another director under her, don't view each other as competition or whatever. Work with each other, even if you're not on the same leg, or even outside of Eva's team. We're all in this together and we all get to be part of the big Scentsy family. I can't even tell you how many great ideas and motivation, even just friendship and support I've gotten completely outside of my own Scentsy team. So again, we are all better together, and it's in a feeling of abundance and not scarcity. If somebody else is winning, it doesn't mean you're losing. You can both win together. So ethical, number 8, the 8th E is be ethical. Again, never do anything that is not ethical or that makes it so you can't sleep at night. The whole idea of this business is something that is sustainable, 13 years and on, you know, something that you're going to be doing for forever, and something that feels good and makes you a better person, even if you remain a lead consultant for forever. That's fine if that's your goal. And but if it's something that doesn't really help you as a person, then there's a lot of different ways to make money. But the beauty of our Scentsy business is that we get to do it in a way that leads us to be better people and to live happier lives while we're making money. So make sure you're always doing everything that's ethical to your customers, to your team, whatever. That kind of goes without saying. Number 9, example, set the pace. If you want your team to earn the incentives, earn the incentives. If you want your team to sell $2,000 a month, show them how you're doing it. And if you want your team to be recruiting and growing, you should be recruiting and growing. So again, remember, we're not the kind of leaders in Scentsy that just sits back in our big king chair and says, okay, do this and this and this, and hurry up because you're making me a paycheck. You know, there are no fat cats. Like, if I'm not doing at least 500, I'm not paid as a superstar director no matter how big my team is. You know, and that's what I love about it, is that literally we lead by example, and you can never just stop. Now, again, you don't, anyway, this is a topic for another day, but if you started out as a cart pusher at Walmart, the CEO is not still pushing carts. So it's okay to expect that your job is going to look different. It should. And if you're like, oh man, I'm pushing carts, but I really don't like it, find a way to do it better. You don't have to do things that you don't like in your business. You do have to do things, but there's a lot of different ways to get it done. And like I said, the CEO is going to lead his company differently than the cart pushers, which again, there's a role for everybody. But if you're a cart pusher now and you're like, man, I'm just grinding, find a way to do it better, more effectively, bigger reach, new approach, whatever it is. It's okay to shake things up. It's okay to even try something totally new. And it's okay to you know, be a YouTuber if that's where you want to take your business. It's okay to, you know what I mean? Like, you can do things differently. Just because most Scentsy people do it one way, that you don't have to do it that way. Just lead by example and set the pace. Then the last thing is endure. The grass is greener where you water it, not on the other side. So again, it is 100% what you make of it, and we have this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing in our hands. Like, I literally can't even tell you how much my life has changed because having Scentsy, because of that student loan debt that I just couldn't sleep with at night. And because I had the courage to try something that didn't feel like my personality, was nothing I ever imagined myself doing, direct sales, ew. But because I had the courage to try and to make it mine, and sometimes literally to just keep going and keep one foot in front of the other, that enabled me to stay and to thrive. And like I said, I truly love it here. I love that it creates interactions like this with you all today, and I've just loved being here and getting to share a few of my leadership lessons over the last 13 years with you guys. And congratulations for making it to the end of this leadership program. Eva has created such a beautiful thing for you guys, and it looks like you're all just doing it and involved so well. And kudos to you, because you're making your dream come true. Don't forget your why. Why are you doing this? What is the island that you are rowing toward? And then guess what? You will find that you row a lot faster towards that island at the end when you have your own momentum inside of, I can see that goal at the end. I can see that island that I'm rowing towards. So anyway, if you guys, oh, thanks Eva for the hearts. I do love hearts. I like lots of hearts. So thanks everybody. Yes, we made it, and you guys made it to the end of your training course. This is the last one. If you have any last minute questions, I know you guys need to go, yeah. I took 35 minutes, so sorry, I'm a little long-winded because there's so much stuff, and this is your last one, so I want to make sure you know all the good stuff and just kind of bring it all together. Oh, thanks, Missy. Thanks for that nice comment. So again, if you guys have any quick questions for me, then I'll hop off and let you guys go about your day. But if you guys want to ask me anything or whatever, I'm an open book. So if there's anything that you're like, oh, can I really ask you that? Yeah, you can. You can ask me anything, because I might not have the best answer or the answer you want to hear. But like I said, I'm more than happy to share anything. So, oh, good, Christine. Glad it was helpful. Oh, you're so welcome, Eva. Thanks for inviting me. I loved being here with you guys. And like I said, it's fun to be your little end cap to just put it all together and put you off into the world to go forth and do amazing things. So, all right. Well, I don't see any questions coming in. So if you have one, type quickly, because I'll let you guys go. I'll love you and leave you, and allow you guys to have a great day. And if you're going to Disney, I'll see you tomorrow. And if not, I'll see you on the next one, because again, set your island at where you want to go. What are you rowing towards? Is it incentive trips? Is it money? Is it something that money can provide? And then row hard, because it's worth it. It's worth it to live the life that you want. So, all right, you guys are awesome. Have a great day, and hopefully I will get to meet you guys one day. So come up and say hi. All right, bye.